Hello everyone, welcome to Grace Hollow Rabbitry. It's so good to see you again. Just in case you're new to my channel, I'm your host PJ, and we are located in Northwest Arkansas. Now recently I was asked, I forget to write down the name, so I forget who it was that asked, but someone asked me, when do you wean your kits and how do you wean your kits? So that's what I wanted to talk to you about. So, okay, we have Washita's kits. Washita was bred to Mark, and she kindled 8 kits on March 5th, so they are 6 weeks old today, which is when I typically wean my kits. Now, sometimes I'll leave them on for a little bit longer. You know, if it's not time to rebreed, or if the weather is a little chilly for the rabbits, then I'll leave them there so that they can stay warm. But otherwise, I generally wean right at 6 weeks. So they are 6 weeks old, and it's time to wean them. So how do I do it? First of all, the first thing I do is I bring the whole litter in so that I can weigh them and check them, and I mark their ears. I'm not tattooing them, but I am using a permanent marker to write in their ears. Now I'm going to start basically alphabetical order, or the same way you would show them. Black, blue, in this case, because this litter has black, blue, and broken, that's the order that I'm going to do them in, black, blue, and broken. Now, we also have steels in this litter. Now, steels are not showable, and generally steels will be. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start with the black, and we have one black. Yeah. Okay. We have one little black kit right here, and a little handsome fella, and we want to weigh this one. Okay, at 6 weeks it is exactly 2 pounds on the mark. Yeah, 2 pounds on the mark. And now this was with a litter of 8. Now the second thing I want to do is check the teeth. There we go. Yeah, that's a good baby. Okay, and you want to make sure the teeth are growing straight and correctly. And this one does have good teeth. I do not see any white patches on the foot pads. And you do not see any white spots on the navel. I don't see any stray white hairs. I'm sure it probably will develop some stray white hairs later, but right now it does not. And for a youngster, and this is a little bitty youngster, 6 weeks old, well, right now very promising. It's got a good top line. It's not sunken here at the hindquarters. So right now this one does look very promising. So let's find out if it's a buck or doe. Okay. Wow. Does appear to be a little black doe. There we go. So being a doe, I'm going to assign her the letter A. So in her ear, I'm going to write a big black letter A with permanent marker. That way when I look at her, I know she is a doe. Now in my book, I'm going to write in here A beside her, she's black, so I know that's a black doe, and she was 2 pounds even. So I'm going to write that, and no DQs. So good looking doe right there. Okay. Second, I have a little blue. So let's just go ahead. Let's get the weight first. And it is 1 pound 12. Whoa! And it's a runner. Yeah. Yeah. Settle down now. Yeah. So I'm going to just go ahead and write the weight down. 1 pound 12. There. Now. There we go. You're going to calm down now. Now again, just a little one. Got a pretty good top line there. Right now it's not sunken in the hindquarters. It is nice and full and round. And, oh, you know, I didn't look at the feet on that one. I looked for white spots, but we'll go back and look. Alright, so I'm going to check. No white on the foot pads. Oh, I know. Now don't scratch me. And the teeth look good. I didn't check the ears on the other one either. Now, because this one is blue, and blue is common to find white toenails, almost always right here when they're upside down on the second right foot, look for a white toenail. Very hard to tell, but it does look colored. I may have to look again when it's a little older, but right now all those toenails do look to be colored. Good job. Good job. And we're going to look and see if it's a buck or a doe. Alright, this one also appears to be a doe. Good. Good. Let me go check your ears. That's a little one. Yeah, that's a calm little baby. Ears do look good. Yeah. Okay, so since this is the second doe, I'm going to write a big B in her ear. When I tattoo her here in 4 weeks, that will be her tattoo identification. I will mark it first with the year. This is 2019, so it will be a 9, and then the sire, M for Mark, and then a O for Washita, so it'll be 9, M-O, and then her identification letter, which is a B. And I'm going to go ahead and write that down. B. Good job. Good job. Oh, I wanted to look at the feet. A good way at this age to tell whether they're going to be pinched at the hindquarters or not is to flip them over and get them to put their feet. And see, her feet is wide apart and they're straight. So most likely not going to be pinched. So let's go ahead and look at that black because I forgot to check that. Here, let's tickle the belly. Hers too is wide. It might be a little V, but I think it's just the way she's holding them. Tickle her belly and they're straight. Let me look at her ears. All right. I put the blue back. Okay. So here's our second blue. Let's see the weight. It's okay, little one. I think this one's also 1 pound 12. Oh, yeah. This one's also 112. It's okay. So we're going to go ahead and write that down. There we go. Now, let's look at the ears. Yeah. We got 8 of these things to look at. It's going to take a little time today. Especially when they don't want to be looked at, huh? You don't want to be touched? Oh, I know. You want to make sure you look all the way down in there. Yes, good and clear. All right. Now again, this one looks so far to have a pretty good top line. Well, her feet's way out. I say her. Its feet's way out. Way too young to really be posing. But you want to start posing just so that they get used to being handled and touched and looked at. And you want to make sure you can't feel the hocks when you come down. So, you know, I don't see anything wrong at this point. Let's go ahead and check their teeth. Okay. Check the foot pads. I don't see any white. All right, check those toenails for the blue. Oh, the breeze coming in the door feels so nice. All right. It does appear to be colored toenails. Again, very hard to tell at 6 weeks. We will have to check and check again. But right now it does appear to have color. Okay. You might have a white spot. I don't know. No. There was some baby fur coming out. Okay. And let's see. I think this one is a doe also. Very good. Alright, so we're going to mark this one with a C. Okay. Okay. Okay, this one's also 1 pound 12 ounces. Now this one is a steal. Oh, I forgot to write C on that one. This one was 1 pound 12 ounces. So, you know, pretty steady litter here. Now this one is a steal. So this one is a DQ, cannot be shown. Most likely this one is going to land in the crock pot or the freezer count. But if someone just happens to want a steal for a pet or as a backyard meat breeder to produce meat for your home, get in contact with me and we'll see what we can do. Promising body type, just like the others. I don't see anything that jumps out. Let's check the teeth and ears. I'm not going to worry about the color of the toenails or foot pads. It's already a DQ. But we do want to make sure the teeth are straight. You do not want to breed an animal with bad teeth. Okay, so yes. And we will check to make sure all the toes are there. All the toes are there, and so are the toenails. Alright, so still, well, let's see. I think it's a doe. Wow. We're having a heavy doe day, aren't we? I do believe that one is a doe. So I'm going to write it as a D. And I'm going to write a D into her ear. That way I just have a way to identify her because there are two stills. There we go. Alright, so now our next still. 1 pound 12 ounces. All right, boy. Washita's feeding these things routinely, isn't she? All right. So again, we're not overly concerned because we already know it's a DQ. But you know, for now, we're going to take a look and just make sure it gets used to being held. Got a little yucky on the fur. There we go. Clean that up. Now let's check the teeth. Teeth are straight, and again, we're not concerned about the foot pads or the toenails, but we do want to make sure the toes are there, and they are there. Good job. And our first buck. So we got a steel buck. Let's take a look at his ears. And now because he's a buck, he's going to get the number 1. He's our first buck. All right. And that leaves us with our 3 broken. We got a broken block. All right, let's get a weight. 1 pound, 12 ounces. All right. Well, that's pretty good. Pretty consistent there. All right. Let's take a look at the ears. Now this one's got a promising body type, but running my hands across it, even though it weighs the same, I can feel this one's just a little thin, which that's probably because there's 8 to the litter. They're getting pushed around, and the more dominant ones are getting fed a little more, eating more of the grain. But wow, look at that. Very promising for a 6-week-old. Oh, wow, amazing. Look at that. So we're going to divide these kids up. They're going to have the same size feeder, but we're going to divide them up, and they'll have more opportunity at the feed. So this one will gain weight in no time. No time at all. Let's check the teeth. Okay. Looks good and straight. Now we're not concerned about the color of toenail. Has to be black or white. And the foot pads are white, so they're just about always going to be white. And we're not concerned about the color of the foot pads. Not at all. No, I didn't look at the feet of those steel. We want to make sure their feet straight, even though they're steel and caws. You know, unless someone wants them. We want to make sure. So the broken black is a buck. So we're going to give him the 2. Okay. Let's put a big old tool in your ear. Now you will have to touch these up. Check on them every few days to make sure you can still read them. Let's check his feet placement. It's okay. Yep. Nice and straight. Good job. I'm going to go back. This is the steel buck. We're going to check his feet. Yeah, nice and straight. All right. Ran out of time on my camera. Let's check the steel doe. Nice and straight. Let's tickle the belly. Yep, holds them nice and straight. And nice and wide too. Good job. Okay, next up is going to be our broken blue. There we go. Okay, this one is 1 pound 8 ounces. Yep, it's okay. So we're going to mark it 1 pound 8. Okay, good job. Look at you, huh? Now again, I don't see anything that jumps out that screams, oh no, I'm not going to be a good one. My bandage is coming off. Okay. Let's see. Let's check your teeth. There. Sure all your toes are there. There we go. And there we go, another buck. Look at that. So we're going to put a number 3. Put number 3 in his ear. So far we've got 4 does and 3 bucks. So that's number 3. promising little guy. And last but not least is, I believe this is a broken still. I'm looking across the back and I really don't see a still coloring, but if I look at the V in the neck, and I doubt you're going to see that in the camera, I can see just a little bit of gold down at the undercoat at the V of the neck, but where I can really tell it is on the nose. Right here down in the whisker bed is the golden color. So I do believe these three kits are gold tip still. This one would be a broken gold tip still. Clean that off the fur. Okay, and this one I said was 1 pound 10 ounce, right? 1 pound 10 ounce. A beautiful little. I love the broken stills. Unfortunately, you can't show them, but they are a beautiful color. And I don't see anything that screams out, no, I'm not fit. Promising, although it is leaning on me. Let's see. Okay, so let's look at the feet. I'll show the feet to you. That way we'll get it out of the way. Nice and wide and straight. Good job. I know. Getting handled for the very first time is rough business, isn't it? Good straight teeth. And we got our toes. Yep, they're all there. There we go. Alright, we're going to have another buck. So another buck. Alright, so we ended up with 4 and 4, which is going to be great for dividing them up in cages. I can put 4 bucks in one cage, 4 does in the other cage, and it's going to be great. Now, what I'm going to do first and foremost, because we are weaning, I'm going to take 6 of these and put them in their own little grow out cage. And for now, I'm going to put the 2 smallest ones back in with Mom. I do that for 2 reasons. The first reason is to give these little ones just a few extra days. They're not terribly behind. These were all real close to weighing the same. But that'll give just a few extra days for the 2 smallest ones to catch up. And it also allows Mom, now they are mostly weaned themselves, and they're all eating grain and doing great. But Mom, you don't want Mom to dry up too fast. She'll get irritated and she could develop mastitis. So what we're going to do is leave 2 of the smallest. So we're going to leave this one and the broken blue. Those are the 2 smallest. We're going to leave both of those with Mom for another 2 or 3 days and let her dry up gradually, and then we'll go ahead and move those later on back to the grow out page. That way they have a few extra days with Mom, and Mom can grow up slowly, or dry up slowly. So the broken still and the broken blue will go back to Mom. And that, folks, is how I wean my kits. It's really not a whole lot to it. You could just pull them out and throw them in a grow out cage and be fine. But because I like to keep detailed records, that's the way I do it. I get their first weights at 6 weeks. I'll come back at 8 weeks and I'll weigh them again. And then at 10 weeks, I'll weigh them again. I'll give them a tattoo. And at that time, I will pair them up 2 at a time. So that's it. Down below, I'll leave some links. One will be to my webpage, which will have available rabbits, and it also has my show schedule. So if I happen to be in your neighborhood and you're interested in any of these rabbits that's available, be sure to let me know, and we'll see about getting them to you. I'll also leave you a link to our Facebook fan page. That way you can keep up to date from a day-to-day standpoint of what's going on here in the rabbitry and what's happening. You stay there. I better close that before they try to escape. So I'm going to go ahead and go put these guys in their grow out pen, and that broken steel and that broken blue I'm going to put back with them on. Thanks for watching, and until we speak again, God bless.